Hello there guys, welcome back to another match preview as Manchester City head to the Etihad South, aka Wembley, Manchester City's second home these days, let's be honest, in a massive game against Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final. It's going to be fascinating, it's going to be good, and it feels like we're playing big game after big game at the moment, but that's life as a Manchester City fan these days. Keep it coming, I say. I absolutely love it. Today we're going to preview that game, but before I do that, I want to say thank you once again to OneFootball for supporting this channel and helping Manchester City fans and football fans get all the news sent straight to their phone. If you haven't already downloaded OneFootball, what are you waiting for? You can see it on screen alongside me right now. It's absolutely beautiful. It's got all the news, all the transfer updates, all the stats that you personally need. And I think eventually as well, my videos will start to appear in the feed there as well, which is another good place to try and find them. So go and download it right now by clicking the link in the description. Help support my channel. It costs absolutely nothing, by the way, and over 10 million people have already downloaded OneFootball for a reason, because it's absolutely mint. Go and download it right now. You won't regret it, I promise you. Also, a tiny little bit of housekeeping. I want to say thank you to my latest Patreon, Aidan Braidwood. You absolute legend. Thank you so much. Aidan's got an Esteemed Kompany mug coming his way. There's a couple of people watching this still owed one as well. Don't worry, it's in the next post run, which will be happening on Monday. So if you're waiting for one, it's coming very soon. But Aidan, you legend. Patreon.com/Esteemed Kompany if you want to help a little bit. No worries if you can't. Just keep liking these videos and hit that subscribe button. And let me know your thoughts, obviously, on the video down in the comments below. But let's get on to this game. It's a big one. As I was saying a few minutes ago, the big games, they just don't stop at the moment. They never seem to end. And once again, that's just part of the course when you're a Manchester City fan these days. When you're in every single competition, it becomes very difficult to keep players fit. It becomes very difficult to have a break, because at this stage of the season, the games get harder and harder and harder because we are further into the competition. So there's literally no easy games now. It's all going to be difficult. It's all going to be a test. And I guess what? I guess I would say bring it on, because it means we are living the good life as Manchester City fans, and that's what matters really, man. We've got to revel in this and try and enjoy it, because we would have killed for this years ago. I would have killed for this when I was younger, and finally we're getting to see City at this highest level every single week at the moment. I love it. I absolutely love it. And of course, we're coming in off the back of a Champions League semi-final. You may have noticed that I may have made a video or two about that, probably about 8-9 maybe. Either way, it's been absolutely fascinating. Guardiola was asked about his reaction to that, and he said, "We know how difficult it was to reach the Champions League semi-final, and that is why the happiness is even higher. We would have loved to have reached the semi-finals before, but we were there every season, and next season we will be there in the Champions League trying again." He went on to say, "We know we can reach the semi-finals now, and that will be the target next season. Sometimes it's important to take the step, but it's important to be stable as a club and fight again." And he's right. He basically is hinting at that curse being broken, that mental barrier essentially being put in the bin. And it should be a massive boost for this club, because they've got past the psychological barrier. And sometimes in football, it's simply about what's going on between the ears, man. It's sometimes just about where your head's at. And hopefully this will be the belief that these players need. It will give them the belief that these players need to be able to take that step once again. It should get easier and easier in theory. He was also asked about the general reaction. He said it's much easier. Reaction ahead of this game. He said it's much easier playing after a Champions League quarter-final win. Imagine playing this game today after not qualifying for the Champions League semi-finals. It would be tougher. I would love to have more days to enjoy a qualification and recover better for the game, but the schedule is the schedule. When you're a contender in all the competitions, you have this schedule. The guys are training well, and tomorrow they're going to face one of the best teams in Europe and try to do good performance to reach the final. Quite indeed, and it pretty much echoes what I was saying a minute ago. That's just part of life when you're a team as good as Manchester City are right now. Drink it in, love it, it's wonderful. Guardiola was also asked, interestingly, about Sterling and Foden and can they play together. And he said to that, if you know the trajectory of this team and the selections, the answer is obvious. Of course they can play together, he said. They have played many times together. Phil Foden can play 5 positions and Raz can play 3. Interesting. I wonder which one is the 5 for Foden. Probably midfielder, winger, on either side, striker, false line. I don't know. It's interesting. And Raz will be just all the forward ones, I guess. But either way, he's absolutely right. In terms of the team news, it's the same, unfortunately, for Aguero fans, like myself, I guess. For all of us, for City fans, he's not fit yet, according to Guardiola. Sergio is not fit yet. Everyone else is okay, tired, but in a good mood, is what Guardiola had to say about the squad. Sergio, oh, I wish he was okay, but unfortunately, when everyone's going, Guardiola's been disrespectful. He wasn't being disrespectful. He just saw this coming. He knew this was coming, and unfortunately, it's predictable now. Unfortunately, I love Sergio, but his body's not his biggest fan at the moment. Unfortunately, he struggles. Let's hope he's back very soon, because Aguero fit and firing in form, I don't think it's going to happen personally. I mean, that sounds cynical, but I'm just being honest. But that Aguero would be wonderful for us, but fingers crossed, fingers crossed. It does bring us to the lineup, though. This is an interesting one, this. I've been sat there going through many potential variants to this team. It's very difficult to pin down this lineup because I'm not sure how strong he's going to go, because obviously the Aston Villa game has a little bit more edge now midweek. And then, of course, the weekend after that, we've got a final against Spurs. So how many players get rested for this? How many players are rested against Aston Villa? Do we go like a semi-rested team for this game with the Aston Villa game and the Carabao Cup final in mind? Or do we play a strong side and rest an awful lot of people against Aston Villa and hope for the best? Or do we... I don't know. It's difficult, I guess, is the point I'm making. And of course, you've got to bear in mind that it was a physically demanding performance as well against Dortmund. Dortmund ran and ran and ran. They really did put us through the physical test there. So, there will be one or two players that are potentially tired. Having said that, it's a FA Cup semi-final. It's a Champions League semi-final. Then that's for another day, which is lovely to say, by the way. But it's an FA Cup semi-final, so there's no doubt whatsoever in my mind he'll take it pretty seriously. Having said that, I think Steffen will carry on in goal. Zach Steffen's played all the FA Cup games so far, and there's no reason to drop him in this, and it would probably be a little bit harsh. So I think Zach Steffen will start this game, and he likely will start the final if we get to the final. It's a big of course, because Chelsea are no mugs. So Steffen will play there. I've got a feeling, the back four... I'm almost certain Diaz is going to play, and Laporte will probably play as well, because he's played every FA Cup game so far, Laporte, like Steffen in that one, so I think Laporte will play. But the fullbacks, I've been sat there, for 1 minute I thought Mendy might play, but I think he'll go for a stronger option than that. Not to diss Mendy, but he's not our first choice at the moment. I think Mendy will play against Villa, so I reckon, I can't decide if Zinchenko will play again. I think Zinchenko will play with Cancelo over at right back. I think Walker will sit this one out. Maybe, no, he'd always trust Walker in big games. Actually, do you know what? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to say that. Zinchenko and Cancelo. No, I'm not. I changed my mind once again. I'm going to go Walker with Zinchenko. I think Cancelo will sit on the bench this one, so I'm changing my mind yet again. Cancelo will come in against Aston Villa, and that'll be his chance to get into the Spurs team, I reckon, for the final. That's what I'm going for. I could be wrong. It's so hard to predict. I was tempted to put Cancelo and Zinchenko, but I think Walker, he likes Walker in big games. I understand why. That pace, that experience, that strength, especially when you've got the likes of Pulisic with a lot of pace and all that kind of stuff, and Hudson-Odoi could play, and he's not exactly short of pace. Even if he fancies Timo Werner to play, Tuchel, he's not short of pace either. So I feel like he'll go for Walker's pace there. Werner's almost inevitable in midfield, in my opinion. I think he'll play Fernandinho. I just can see him coming in for this game. It's the kind of game where, if anyone can outrun Kante, even a 35-year-old Fernandinho could get pretty close. So I think Fernandinho will start this game. Ahead of them, I can see Kevin De Bruyne and Ilkay Gundogan. I think they're going to start, which does actually mean for me that Bernardo Silva will sit this one out, not because he's done anything wrong, but I think rotation will be a situation here, because I think Raheem Sterling's going to come back in over on the right. It could be Mahrez, but I think he'll sit this one out ahead of Aston Villa in the final. I think Sterling will play. I think Foden will play on the left as well, with Gabriel Jesus through the middle as the striking option. Once again, it could be Mahrez that plays. Bernardo could maybe play as the false nine yet again, but I think Jesus and Sterling will start this one. And then it's down to Foden and Mahrez, and I think he'll just go for Foden's energy, because Foden's a little bit younger, can run a little bit more. That's not to denigrate Mahrez in the slightest. He deserves to be in the lineup. Just me trying to be realistic. In terms of the opposition view, I did a whole video with Nini from Blue Lions TV, so go and watch that. There'll be a link on screen right now to get Nini's thoughts on the game, where 15 minutes of chatting about Chelsea's form this season, because it's been a tumultuous season for Chelsea, but one right now that could be very interesting. From having a relatively mixed season, they're currently now sat in 5th, chasing down West Ham, only a point off West Ham, only 2 points off Leicester as well in 3rd. So the Champions League for them is a real possibility. West Ham will be nervous, and probably rightfully so, because Chelsea look like a team in decent form, so they could get the Champions League. They'll fancy the chances to get through to this, and they'll also fancy the chances of getting past Real Madrid in the Champions League as well, of course, in the semi-final, to get to potentially a final. They have got some pedigree, obviously, in recent history in that competition, so they won't be nervous about those games. They've of course, just come off the back of getting through against Porto. I'll be honest, that game was absolutely dire. It was not a good game of football at all. They lost that game 1-0, but went through 2-1 on aggregate, which was enough for them. But it wasn't. It was a stifled performance where they played 3 at the back with wing-backs in Chilwell and Reece James, with Pulisic, Mount and Kai Havertz. Kante and Jorginho are likely probably going to play this one. I'm not really sure how they'll line up, but they've done a lot of rotation because they've got a big squad. You know, like the bench for the Porto game, they had on the bench the likes of Kepa, Alonso, Christensen, Abraham, Werner, Caballero, Kurt Zuma, Giroud, Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech, Emerson. They've got a very strong squad, Chelsea. Stronger than most, I would say. So they will fancy their chances. You know, they really will fancy the chances in this. And their results in general have been pretty decent. They've obviously found a little bit of form in general before that spanking from West Brom, which is kind of weird. West Brom beaten 5-2 at the Bridge, of course. They beat Sheffield United 2-0 in the FA Cup quarterfinals to get to this stage. Before that, it was Luton Town 3-1, so that's not a particularly big game, and Morecambe 4-0 before that. So it's been a relatively easzy, a very easy route to this final, to be honest. The whipping boys of the Premier League, and then Luton and Morecambe. So they'll be very happy. It's been very easy for them to get here. Been able to rest players as well to get to this point. But their form... they drew 0-0 against United. They beat Liverpool 1-0 back in March. Everton 2-0. They drew 0-0 against Leeds. Leeds showing, by the way, that they're a decent side. Then obviously, of course, they got through against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, which is decent for them. And also they beat Crystal Palace 4-1 away from home in the last Premier League game. The goals that day coming from Kai Havertz, who's reinvented himself a little bit as a false nine, and Pulisic with a brace, and Kurt Zuma. Havertz is doing pretty well as the false nine at the moment for them. He's found a bit of form. Mason Mount's having a really good season as well. They're really reveling in this wing-back kind of thing. I think Hudson-Odoi's played a little bit over on the right as a wing-back every now and then, and Reece James is a good physical player. I like Reece James an awful lot. And they've got lots of options and different kind of options in midfield in terms of Jorginho, Kovacic. I'm not sure he's available, is he? I don't know. And of course, they've got Kante as well. And they've got players in defence that are decent. In Zuma, they've got Rudiger, of course. Thiago is obviously an awful lot of experience there as well. They've got basically a very good side. And even Ziyech can't fully get into the team at the moment. So Chelsea are a good side. They are a very good side. I can't deny that. And they'll be up for this because obviously... You know, they'll fancy their chances after a tired Manchester City side, a likely rotating Manchester City side, and the Premier League isn't as much a big deal for them. Well, actually, it is. I take that back because they're chasing the Champions League football. So their game after this is they've got Brighton on Tuesday. So they'll have half an eye on that. You know, they'll fancy the chances of beating Brighton, but they'll definitely have one eye on that. But either way, in terms of my prediction, I'd be remiss not to be confident. Our record at Wembley is, of course, very, very good. It's the Etihad South for a reason. I am a little bit apprehensive because every game at this stage of the season is a chance to slip up, not because we could do anything wrong, just because that's life when you're playing this many tough games. I'm not trying to be negative, I'm just trying to be realistic. A mistake isn't unreasonable for this squad. It's very possible because of the amount of big games, and the bigger games you play, if you keep playing big game after big game after big game, eventually something's got to give. Hopefully it's not tomorrow though, and I'm still confident about tomorrow. I'm going to say City will win 2-1, but I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be a very difficult game. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's tough tomorrow on the day. But that is my prediction anyway. I've got to be confident because this Manchester City side are very, very, very good. We know that. And of course, they'll be on cloud 9 after that game. For now, though, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed my match preview. Go watch the opposition preview with Nini as well. And don't forget to download OneFootball in the link in the description below. Do it right now. Thank you so much once again to my latest patron, Aidan Braidwood. And also thank you to my Patreon producer, Ahmed Al-Ali. Don't forget to like this video. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. I've been working my ass off, hence why my voice is a little bit tired. Hopefully enjoying the videos. For now though, love you all loads. In a bit.